You are listening to Terrifying True Stories. Tonight, you'll meet a man who spent years walking the corridors of one of LA's most notorious institutions. They say the walls of old places like this hold memories, and he discovered just how true that can be. Tonight's episode is about the haunted Los Angeles General Hospital.
My name is Stan Burwell. From 1997 to 2015, I was on the sheriff's department and I was a custody officer. So basically I was working jail ward type stuff. I was working at Twin Towers, the inmate reception center before it opened up big in the 90s. It was still kind of halfway closed, so we got to roam around in there. But I used to escort inmates, supervise them, watch over them, everything that we're supposed to do on the department. It's the 13th floor of the old general hospital. And right below us on the 12th floor was the burn victim ward. And upstairs from 14 to 15, it used to look like the auditorium where doctors would look down and they had the table right there so the doctors would work on people or carcasses or whatever. That was creepy to see because everything else is locked up. So we had keys to everywhere. Looking at those places, man, you just get a vibe, like the hairs on your neck stick up and everything. It's like, wow. Other people were like, no, I'm not working up there. There was one of our partners that worked up there, a deputy, and I forget his last name, but he was up there one time. One time is all it took because he said he'll never work up there again. He got freaked out. He even called downstairs and said, hey, I need someone to relieve me. I'm going home or take me back downstairs. He freaked out. He never explained what he saw or said, witnessed or felt, whatever, but I'm pretty sure it was something where, that freaked him out like that bad. I always liked working the graveyard shifts, so I got to work up there during the night. The stories were coming around and everything because it's quiet up there and it's so dark and it's like everything else was pretty much like condemned and closed off except for our area. If you can imagine like a big version of a T, like lowercase t, it's got long corridors to the left and right. If you're coming out of an elevator, you walk in, to the right would be like rooms where doctors would be and our locker room and our makeshift bunk rooms. And to the left, if you look straight down, is where it was different rooms that held 4 to 6 inmates or patients. And it was like a little room area with a bathroom and everything attached to it, but they were converted so the inmates can be there. So doors were kind of half to the neck down so they can have some sort of privacy using the restroom, but not too much privacy. And going down that corridor is creepy because we have heard stories throughout the years. It's been there for years, even way before me. Inmates killing themselves or dying, stabbed, whatever. You hear all these stories and everything. And when nobody else is in there, it's like this engulfing feel of overwhelming sort of. It's like you feel like the weight of the energy in there on you. And it just feels like it's a weird vibe. It's hard to describe unless you're in that sort of situation. I mean, sure, you go to a hospital and there's all these other people, but when you're alone in there, it's dark. And if there's a power outage, oh my God, you can't even see your hand in front of your face. That's how dark it gets, which has happened twice. When I was working there, it happened twice. And the only way to our area, there's only 2 ways up. The stairwell, which is always locked, or the elevator. And if the elevator stops because of a power outage, guess what? You have to walk 13 floors up to go and get to our locker room or whatever, and then walk 13 floors down. So that's a spookiness in all itself because it's the emergency corridor. So that's the only way up. I mean, of course, you hear noises and the building moving or whatever, whether it's windy, you hear certain sounds. One time in particular, this is how old it is. We had VCR attached to a TV like you would see in elementary school to get a movie. So I'm sitting there. I had my laptop because we were able to have our laptops up there because we had to have some form of entertainment. I'm sitting there, I'm watching a movie, and then I press pause, and I'm just stretching out on my chair and everything, and then I look at the screen of the TV that's off. And just like in the horror movies, you see, or I saw anyway, like a ripple in front of the TV screen, like something walked by it. And it was like, wait a minute, what? Did I see that? Am I envisioning something or just whatever? But no, it felt like that. It looked just like in the movies, like that ripple effect past the screen. That was just one. The second time I felt something, and this happened, throughout months and a couple of years. And then another time I heard a sound and down the corridor, it sounded like somebody was rummaging through paperwork. there's a few rooms in there that have old paperwork and old x-rays and stuff. So I looked and I was like, I know I heard something. Paper rustling is very distinctive sound. So I walked down there and I look and there was nothing. There was paper scattered, but you just felt like walking through that corridor where the inmates used to be, like someone's watching you. And it's just that overwhelming feeling and just like, I got to get out of here. So I walked back. And mind you, I got to digress, and the floor is like a jail ward, is what we call it, the jail ward for the inmates. It has the old sliding bars like you would see in the movies. So we had to open them, crank them, and or press a button and they slide open and slide close. So I made sure that thing was wide open before I walked out in or out of it. And then I closed it, and it's like anything after that or see anything. So I just brushed it off. And then the third one, it's like, this was the most eerie because I know I was working like a double shift, which was like 16 hours and everything. And I went there and, I'm kind of laid back on my chair and I kind of nod off. Well, I wake up and I see at the entrance slider to our area that there's a face. I saw his eyes, bald head, looked just like one of my partners. And he gave me a nod like, what's up? So I go and open the main door so they can come in from the elevator area, because it's what we call a slider. It's a glass door basically, and it's electronically controlled where it has to open up. I have to press a button. And I opened it up to let him in. Nobody comes in. And I'm like, what the hell? And I'm looking, so I walk out of it and I'm like, hey, where'd you go? I called him down in the new hospital because that's the jail ward that we have now. I said, and he answered. I said, this may sound funny, but you weren't just right here right now. He said, no, I'm down here and you just called me. Mind you, it's almost like a quarter-mile walk to and from the new hospital to the old one and vice versa. I mean, you got to go downstairs and everything. It's like you couldn't even run that fast to where I called him. So I'm like, okay, and I hang up. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, wait a minute. Well, the stairwell is completely locked up. Like that thing is sealed. The elevator, when it comes up, it's a distinctive ding that it makes a sound of. I mean, that'll wake you up or anybody know that, hey, someone's at the elevator because we're right there. That never happened. I even pressed the button and it took a while for it to come up, which means it was downstairs the whole time. Never came up. That was the most trippiest thing that I'd ever seen, felt, and heard at that one particular moment. And it's trippy because being there, seeing the face clear as day, it's not like it was translucent face or a head or anything. No, it was a head, looked just like my partner with his shaved head, eyes, eyebrow. I didn't see the mouth, but I just saw the face because there's only so high you can see. And he just nodded up like a what's up type of thing. And then moved back, cleared the slider. And it was creepy as hell. I was like, oh Lord, what did I just see? It starts to hit me after the fact. And I'm like, this is impossible. And it was. I've heard from other partners that they've heard and felt things there because you're the only person up there for 7 or 6 hours before somebody starts coming in at 4:30 in the morning or at 9:30 at night when they're getting ready to leave or come in. But that whole time, you're by yourself. I don't know. It could be residual energy because it's not like anything was trying to attack me or felt like it was coming after me or anything. The only time I ever felt like it was a smart entity is when I saw that face looking at me. The face you never forget. At least I don't forget.
Next time on Terrifying True Stories, Alicia thought she knew her roommates. She was wrong. What one of them brought into their apartment would turn their home into a nightmare. You are listening to Terrifying True Stories. I'm your host, Ryan Azevedo. I'll see you on the other side.